Christine, how much does it hurt the WNBA when Caitlin Clark is out?
It is devastating to the WNBA when Caitlin Clark is out.
Now, I know a lot of us were expecting some sort of dip since Caitlin Clark has been out with injury, but I don't think all of us were expecting the entire viewership of the entire WNBA to be down. And this tweet from Christine Brennan really stuck out to me. She said one player gets injured and more than half the TV audience for the entire league disappears. Has any other athlete ever had that kind of impact on a sport? Golf without Tiger definitely dropped precipitously on occasion.
Imagine this. The WNBA, once finally basking in rare national attention, now standing in a darkened courtroom of public opinion. And the judge? Cold, unrelenting numbers. Without Caitlin Clark on the floor, the league's empire is collapsing faster than a house of cards in a storm. It feels less like a sports story and more like a crime scene, one where the league itself is the prime suspect. She carried them out of obscurity, dragged them under the bright lights, and now with her gone, it's chaos. This isn't just basketball, it's financial malpractice. And trust me, this is only the beginning. Don't scroll now, because the real evidence will leave you speechless.
And the truth is the truth, and the data is there. And what we saw when Caitlin was out the last time, the 5 games that she missed earlier in the season, the WNBA's viewership dropped more than 50%. Not just the Fever, but the entire league.
The drama didn't begin on the court. It began in silence when Caitlin Clark limped off on May 24th. A quad injury first, now a groin tear. And with every game missed, the WNBA's fragile illusion of stability cracks open wider. Think about it. In a league where sold-out games were supposed to be the new normal, her absence has exposed a brutal truth. Without her, the stage is empty, the outrage hollow. It's déjà vu all over again, like a second trial for the same crime. And this time, the sentence could be lethal for the league. Keep watching, because the moment the real numbers hit the table, the verdict changes everything.
Quad injury jumped to her groin likely because of compensation. But the thing that you have to be careful of is if, say, you try to rush her back from this injury as well, then you're getting into this territory where a very serious injury can happen. That is what the Indiana Fever, that is what Caitlin need to avoid the best that they possibly can. So if it means that Caitlin is out for 3 weeks, if it means that she is out all the way through All-Star, then so be it.
The numbers hit like a prosecutor slamming down damning evidence. A 55% collapse in national viewership, millions vanishing from screens. The Indiana Fever's games, once hot-ticket events, now ghost towns of interest, hemorrhaging over half their audience. And here's the absurd part. It's not just a slump, it's self-destruction. Imagine live TV where the cameras pan across empty seats that were supposed to be packed. The silence isn't just awkward, it's incriminating. And yet, the league acts as if nothing's wrong. But when the twist comes, you'll see just how dangerous their denial really is.
Clark went down. The WNBA ratings have dropped over 55%. Yikes. Across the board.
Hey, guess what, guys?
The league is Caitlin Clark.
The league is Caitlin Clark. She is the WNBA, guys.
Sidelined with a left quad strain May 24th. National TV viewership has plunged since then 55%. Before the injury, the Fever, her team, were averaging 1.81 million viewers, almost 2 million. Since her injury, fewer than 850,000.
While Caitlin Clark shattered attendance records, the league sat back like negligent landlords letting vandals torch their only profitable property. She's not just a player, she's 26.5% of the WNBA's economy. And yet, night after night, they allowed her to be targeted, shoved, and hacked under the excuse of just basketball plays. This isn't protection, it's betrayal. Picture a restaurant where the chef who keeps the place alive is openly humiliated, while the owner lectures customers on team spirit. It's enraging. And if you think this is déjà vu, it is, because the WNBA has burned itself on this same hot stove before. Hit that subscribe button, because what comes next is even more explosive.
News is alarming for the league, and it's alarming for the league because this is such a crucial year for the WNBA. At the end of this season, the WNBA will go into CBA negotiations. If negotiations go well, then every single player in the WNBA has a much better chance of making so much more in their next contract. And that's one thing when you start thinking about how many people stopped watching when Caitlin Clark got injured. A lot of people stopped watching because they are boycotting the WNBA. They don't want to give viewership to any other teams or any other players, whether they like other players on the team or not, because of how the media and the league itself has handled Caitlin Clark and how they have treated her.
The collapse wasn't slow. It was instant, like watching the stock market crash live on air. Ticket prices free-falling 71%, from $860 down to scraps. Arena seats, once impossible to find, now collecting dust for $80. Games, once shifted to bigger venues for Clark's presence, now feel like empty warehouses echoing with regret. Even the blockbuster Fever vs. Sky rematch, once a jewel with 2.25 million viewers, sank into irrelevance. The message is loud. Without her, it's just another game no one cares to watch. And here's the kicker. This isn't even the worst part. Because when the insiders start talking, the story twists in a way the league never saw coming.
What's really concerning about this is the fact that we are only a month into the regular season, and Caitlin Clark has already been out with 2 injuries. With the first one being her having to miss some time with a left quad strain. Now, of course, this is concerning because if you're already on your second injury, you don't want to be that player that is always hurt. Cough, cough, Embiid, cough, cough, Anthony Davis. So I really do hope that the Fever really sits her out right now for a while, only because you don't want her to have more long-term injuries and be more prone.
Enter Christine Brennan, the seasoned journalist with a scalpel for truth. Her criticism wasn't just harsh, it was surgical. On live TV, she laid out the WNBA's negligence. Clark isn't just a player, she's half the audience, half the cash flow, half the hope. Yet the league lets her be hunted on the court like prey, while officials whistle past the graveyard. Brennan compared it to a restaurant letting its only star chef be heckled into silence. It was a damning indictment, and make no mistake, her book will be the smoking gun. Don't scroll now, because the next revelation proves just how much blood is on the league's hands.
Man, bruh. Congratulations to the WNBA. Your ratings are going to drop by 55 to 60% once again. I believe the WNBA have successfully broken Caitlin Clark.
The fouls weren't accidents. They were statements. Dirty plays, cheap shots, and 5 egregious hacks in one season alone, 80% of them from the Chicago Sky. Imagine a courtroom where the jury watches security footage of the same crime committed over and over, and the judge still shrugs. That's the WNBA. Clark is punished if she fights back, branded soft if she doesn't. A no-win trap engineered to break her spirit, and with it, the league's last hope of financial survival. Meanwhile, losses are ballooning past $50 million. This isn't just sports. It's sabotage dressed in a jersey.
As big a deal as Tiger was in men's golf, Keith, he did, and when he was gone, it affected the ratings, but nothing like that. And, Michael Jordan being out, maybe a 5 percentage points or something. Nothing like this. You can make a strong case, and I will make that case, and have that there is no one single athlete more important to his or her sport or tour or whatever the circuit is that they play on than Caitlin Clark is to the WNBA.
What makes this tragedy unbearable is how preventable it was. Caitlin Clark walked into this league humble, generous, a rookie who could have transformed women's basketball into a global spectacle. The WNBA had the chance to build a dynasty around her, but instead, they drowned her in jealousy and politics. The sponsors who once poured millions in now sit on the edge of their seats, rethinking every dollar. The story doesn't feel like sports anymore. It feels like a failed revolution. And the question isn't just what now, it's how much more can they lose before the collapse becomes permanent.
I don't even know where to begin, man. I hope Caitlin Clark is okay. I want to know when this injury even happened, bro, because let's be serious here. She has the quad injury. Mind you, Caitlin Clark hadn't missed a game since she was like 19 years old, since she was like 18 in college or something. Now she has a groin injury. We've never seen Caitlin Clark play as bad as she played the last 3 games. Let's just be serious here. She's like 1 for 20-something on threes in the last 3. We've never seen her shoot the ball this way. I'll say that. Has she been hurt and playing through this?
The contrast with the NBA is humiliating. Imagine LeBron James hacked, fouled, and assaulted game after game, while the league shrugged it off. Impossible. The NBA would throw suspensions faster than you could blink, but the WNBA, they let it play out like bad reality TV, clinging to negative attention as if it's oxygen. Fans aren't stupid. They've stopped showing up because they no longer trust the product. And when even your most loyal believers walk away, that's not just a problem. That's a credibility crisis so deep it feels like a rigged courtroom trial.
I admire about Caitlin, she's a warrior. She's tough. You hear me? Bruh, you just don't see players, you don't see female basketball players like her. I'm sorry. I done seen a lot of female basketball players, like I said.
Every foul, every injury, every drop in ratings was a warning sign, a flashing red siren begging the WNBA to change course. But instead of protecting their asset, they doubled down on excuses. Just basketball plays. Let them be physical. The irony, her injury revealed her worth more clearly than any stat sheet ever could. Without Clark, the numbers plummet. Yet officials still cling to their broken script. It's less like leadership and more like willful blindness, ignoring the fire while the building burns around them.
The cleanup, I believe the physicality and all this hacking and fouling that goes on, she getting blindsided by Marina Mabry. I think all of this stuff is having a wear and tear and an impact. And all you guys are doing are hurting yourselves, because the numbers are going to drop and drop and drop. And trust me, when it's time for that collective bargaining agreement, they are going to point to this and say, well, how can we give you guys all this money? What happens if she gets hurt?
The WNBA is staring down a crossroads with only 2 signs: professional league or high school drama club. Right now, they're wobbling toward the latter. If they truly want legitimacy, they need to protect their stars, enforce rules, and prove the game isn't just theater for social media spats. Without Clark, the league is bleeding fans, sponsors, and dignity. Numbers don't lie. Average viewership now sits at 555,000, lower than last season. That's not just decline, that's regression. And if they don't pivot soon, history won't remember this as growth. It'll remember it as collapse.
Every day, because of the way they play the game, because I love the WNBA. I love the way they play the game. But we really watch it because Caitlin Clark and everybody watching. Now listen, if I keep bumping her, knocking her down, might get her a concussion, you might hurt her for real. For 2 weeks, she was done with like a hamstring. She was down. 55% of the viewership was down. She comes back the next game, it's about 3 million viewers. Now let me tell you something. Growing up in the hood, they teach you this. Always protect the money. Y'all keep hurting her and all that. She going for a year or 2. Ain't nobody gonna watch it. If nobody watches, how y'all gonna make and generate money?
Here's the gut punch. The WNBA's empire is built on sand. Clark was their golden ticket, the foundation they refused to secure. Instead, they gambled on chaos, and when she fell, the house of cards toppled. Sponsors walk away, fans vanish, and the boom turns to bust overnight. The big question now isn't, will Clark come back? It's, will the WNBA survive even if she does? Because the truth is chilling. Unless they protect their stars, every ounce of growth dies the moment those stars step off the court. And based on everything we've seen, the league may already be out of time.